welcome back. Welcome back to our Tamiya Panzer tank group build happening here. This is part 3 of the video, and we're just looking here at what we completed up to in part 2, which is the upper hull. Checking there. Basically, we just glued in these pieces and put in the sides, the walls, plating sides, and yeah, it's come up quite good. So thank you for everybody who's subscribed and watching, and commenting, especially comments. I've had some very good comments and lots of hints and tips and suggestions, which I read all your comments. They're great, and I take it all on board, and thank you very much. I just want to mention Nigel, who suggested I test my liquid mask on a painted surface rather than just like on the spoon I did, which didn't have any paint. Especially with the hairspray underneath for the chipping later on. And I will do that. We'll do that and see how it goes. And everybody else, it's great getting some ideas from people who have built tanks before. Very good. All right, so if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Hit the notifications bell so you get notified when the videos come out. Comment, of course, and thumbs up at the end if you like this. All right, so let's move on from what was step 13, where we worked on the machine gun that goes in the front here, and that's been done. We're moving over to step 14 now. Excuse me. So 14 is the front fenders. So we have to attach the front fenders. I need to get some parts off the B and looks like the F sprue. And there's some holes to be drilled. We got 1.2 mil and 1.8 mil. But I just noticed then there's a letter B there, which I think refers to the tank that was stationed in Russia, which is the German grey tank, not my tank, which is the North African version. We'll just quickly check. Always make sure you check on your instructions if they're referring to the build you're doing. Otherwise, you might forget a part or put on a part that you don't need to put on. And yes, so my North Africa one is A. So that means none of those holes need to be drilled in. So there we go. See, I could have drilled holes that weren't meant to be. If you other guys, Jason or Simon, with your build, check this. Don't make the mistake that I almost could have made. And by the way, both their builds are coming along really well too. And I'll put a link down in the description. You can whip over and have a look at their, what would you say, their progress as we tackle this tank. All right, so there's interesting here. There's a ZA1. I don't know what the ZA1 piece is, but let me take a look. That is confusing. All right, I'll go get the sprues and we'll have a look at this. Okay, be back in a second. Okay, so I figured out what that Z piece was, the ZA1. So the grey sprue with all the body parts of our tank crew has that one there, and that's the piece we want. And I was thinking, well, gosh, why does that go on there? And then I checked, so I took off one of the fenders. This is the fender that it goes on, and there's 2 locating tabs in there. So I need, that will attach on there like that. Get that right. pretty much, there we go. No, I'm doing this all wrong, aren't I? It goes on there somehow. I did check. I do. No, it's okay. All right, there we go. There it is. All right. Now, that piece doesn't stick out off here at all. It actually sticks out underneath here. It covers this area here, which is where our driver sits. So that basically provides a little platform for our driver to sit down on, because we only see him from the waist up, or even less. But you know, his body will sit down onto that piece. So yeah, I got that figured. All right. So I will take, like I said, I'll take these pieces off. I've got the first one off. Here we go. Let's get this fender off here. It's just a matter of going like this. Just clip them off. Now, my eyesight, since I started building models, is terrible. And now I have to wear these probably a lot more than I should. I do have just regular glasses for reading small stuff, and they're fine for this. But it's just that I'm getting used to seeing real close. So I have the lenses in here, which are the furthest focal point. So I can be quite a distance back and still see things up close. And when you see things that double the size, well, it just makes it just that much easier. Okay, so there's the two fenders off. Then we've got, there's a couple other bits here. We got B22 and B21, which are bits of armor that fill in the gap, I think, in the side here. So B22 and B21 is, where are they? And here I am with my goggles on, and I can't find the number I'm looking for. That's because I'm looking on the F sprue. All right. So, see the things we do. It's so I'm being so used to every section coming off the same sprue that now they decide, oh, let's throw those two pieces on a completely different sprue, just to confuse things. There they are, 21 and 22. All right, so we'll take these off, and we'll take this off. All right, I think that's it, other than that platform. Yes. So the reason it's grey is obviously because it's related to the crew. There's all the crew parts here. We've got their side holsters there. We've got the machine gun there. We've got their helmets. We've got their armies, their leggies, their bodies. It's all good. There's their heads. One head. There's the other ones. There's a nice hat there too. Pretty nice detailed stuff. Look at the jacket on that. Look at the detail in that jacket. All right. I'll take that off. That one. There it is. Put that away. I need that again for a bit. And all right. So pretty much putting these together, not drilling the holes. And I'll just show you also. I'll just skip ahead here. Step 15, and we've got two step 15s, but one is for A, one is for B. So A is our North Africa tank, B is if you're doing the Russian version. So yes, we'll be doing that, but we're not there yet. So let me see. So the fenders. So the first thing, of course, we need to put on, I wonder if they got location. No, they only have that on that side. So it looks like it's a left-hand drive tank. I wonder if that, maybe you can answer in the comments, do they drive on the left-hand side of the road in Germany? I'm assuming they would, otherwise they'd make it a right-hand side tank, wouldn't they? I don't know, maybe it's a stupid question, but yeah. All right. So let's have a look at this little plate here. Locating pins, make sure it's up the right way. It's got little tabs under there to hold it in place as well. You can't go wrong. That's going to go on there. I haven't cleaned up these pieces yet. As you can see, nice big bits of plastic sticking off where they don't belong. So I will do that and we'll come back and we'll stick these bits on. Okay, back in a minute. Okay, back again. You wouldn't believe what happened. We're just talking about how good these are, and I went to put them on, and this broke off. I mean, it snapped down here, and I thought, oh, great. And I thought, oh, no problem. I'll just super glue it back on again. But there's something about the plastic this is made of that I glued it, and when I went to put it on again, it just snapped off again. Yeah, doesn't work. But fortunately, I have a spare pair, because when I bought these last year, they accidentally sent me 2 pair. I thought, oh, well, that'll be handy to have as a backup. So this is the spare frame, and all I did was, the thing with these things, the first thing that I found wears out are these bits on the nose. They're rubber, they're sitting on metal, but they wear through. These haven't worn through, but my last pair had, which is what I swapped the frames with. So I took them off the other pair and put them on this pair. So luckily I had that. The other thing was the other pair, this was starting to get loose, and these was getting a little bit, like, they weren't falling out, but you could feel that the lenses weren't clipping in like they do here now. Like, see, that's in solid. Through taking them in and out, often it doesn't sit in there so tight. So I fixed it, and then when I did look at it, I see, because this must be like a stress point when you put them on, just in here, there are 2 cracks already forming, one on each side. Exactly where the last pair broke. So what I've done is I've put some super glue in there. I don't know if that'll help, but I will just be aware of it so that when I put them on, I won't, pull them open more than I really need to. And hopefully these will last, but they're only about $20–30 to replace if I needed to. But anyway, but luckily I did have the spare set. Otherwise it'd be quite awkward doing this without it. So while I fixed those, I thought I'd do a bit more maintenance, and I changed my blade in my icky sticky knife. These are really good. They come with 2 knives actually, and plenty of blades to last quite a while. I put a fresh knife in there, and then of course my nippers by Display, I just cleaned them up a bit, tidied them up, just lube them a little, and just to make sure they keep working properly. So a little bit of tool maintenance happening. Okay, so I'll put that on the side, and I got these cleaned up as well, no problem. So these are all good. So what I'll do now is I just have to glue this piece on, which was on this one, I think. Yeah, and that's going to only go one way, like that. And I'll just make sure that, yeah, that's fine. This sits on the edge of the frame of the base of this upper hull, which will run down between there. So that will actually be inside there like that. All right. So yeah, I'll put that on. It'll be easy. Just touch that with some glue in there. that. So that should be all it needs. Yeah, no problem at all. It's all good. Yep. Now these other little pieces here go. Let me just check. Have this one first. They sit inside here. If we get the right one, which will be this one, I'd say. And no, this one with the detail on it, on the outside. Just hold that with the tweezers, might be easier just to test fit. And it looks like that's going to go in there. Like that. Yeah, I see it. Again, there's a little locating ledge for it to sit in, and that's going to sit in there like that. Perfect. Alright, so I will go and glue these on off camera. And I'll put them on, and then these pretty much get stuck straight down onto our upper hull here. Alright. Yeah, I'll glue these off camera, it'll be a little bit easier. Okay, back in a sec. Okay, so I got these two pieces on. You see where they fill in the side there. Now just hold that in position where that's going to glue. And I just want to apply, I mean, you could run your glue down there if you wanted to, but that's the side we want to paint, so we don't really want to do that. So I'm going to put some in there where it's out of sight and let that seep across. It's just a matter of just swiping it across there like that. Put down in there too. And need to fill the gaps in here. I think I need to top this up. I need a bit more glue. It's looking alright. Just put in a bit there. I think that looks fine. Make sure that's gluing on there. Sorry, I'm getting off camera. Just want to be certain it's sticking. And it is. Yep, it's good. There's little tabs where they sit in there. Just run a bit of glue over that. Give it the old 5-second rule. 3, 4, 5. Done. So that side's done. Looking good. Look at the detail on the mesh on that. Looks really good, eh? Alright. Well, we might as well do the other side. Same thing. Match those tabs. There they are. Just turn it around. That's where we want it. It's going to be fine there. Put a bit in the tabs. There. This way it'll come in from the top. It's in through the hole here. We'll put a bit. I can see where that glue's already, just from putting it in the tabs, already spreading along where we need it. tad bit in there too. That's it. And that should be done. All right. Very nice. Just checking, there's a bit of a gap under there. Just going to hold that down there. And I think that should fix it. Yep. There we are. Done. Right. Do I need to top that up? Oh, maybe. Okay. So that now completes step 14. We can tick that off. And so 14 is done. Okay. 15, we're going to build a little framework around here. So we've got 3 pieces to go on. They've got attach as shown here. So basically the front piece will go on here first. So look at it the way the directions are, be easier. This piece will be second, this piece will be third. And yeah, easy. Once again, there's attachment points in there, little slits cut in there. This seems to, the front, this part here on the front here just seems to sit straight over that flat surface. Yeah, so we'll get those pieces off the sprue. And yeah, and what do we got? Oh, that's right. This is the A and the B. So the B we don't want to do because that's not our tank. We'll just cross that so I don't know what the difference is. Oh, I see. Yeah, so they're actually using different kit parts. So whereas I'm using B42, 45, and B1, they're using F21, B18, and B17. So they're completely different. Probably attachment points for things that'll be on the outside of the tank and so forth that would have been different. All right, so I'll make sure I get the right pieces off the sprue too. Okay, I'll do that. I'll be back in a second. Okay, back again. So what I've done is I've positioned that front armor plate wall that goes on there, and I'm just using a couple of little pegs to hold it because it's not quite, it's a bit of an angle there. I want to make sure it all sits flush, and that's fine. I also test fitted side pieces in there, and again, perfect fits. So what I'll do now is just touch them in there. What I should be doing is, I know I'm using the pegs to help me because hold them, but I don't know if I showed you the other day, I went and bought one of these, the old third hand. Yeah, so I've taken the magnifying glass piece off. I don't need that, but really, you know, this is what I should be using to hold stuff while I'm working on it. Maybe I should get used to it. It would make life a little bit easier, wouldn't it? But anyway, so for the moment, I'll do this. Maybe I'll set it up for gluing these side pieces onto, just to give me, free up that extra hand to place it in there while I'm applying, you know, the extra thin. All right, so let me get a bit of this on. Again, you can't go wrong. It's got placement tabs there. I'm just going to touch that, and literally just touching it like that, I could watch that run all the way. It pretty much covered that half of the piece, just touching one spot. And again there, and there it is. It's covered all the way across. So really don't need to use much. I would say just tiniest little bits, and that'll be it. That's fine. So I'll leave that for a few seconds. Well, actually, let's try this out, eh? Let's try this. Is that going to hold that for me? I may have to tighten these up a bit. I haven't even used this yet, so tighten that. See if that works a bit better. Oh, look at that. So now, when I want to place this little bit, which will go there, it'll work, trust me. In fact, I don't even need tweezers. I think that's just going to go straight in there. If I tilt that up a bit, probably. Always use gravity to help. And try it again. That's going to sit in there. Yeah. Very good. Very, very good. All right, I'm just checking that. Yeah. All right, I'll glue the two sides on. How's that? I'll do that off camera, and then we can turn the page and see what step 16 has in store for us. Back in a sec. All right, so that's put together, glued on nicely, and that completes step 15, which I've already ticked off. So we can go over the page and have a look at 16. So we've got 16 is A and B. So B we don't want to do. So we'll just put a cross there just to remind myself not to do that. And so A is the rear fenders. So there's a few pieces we've got the left and right rear fender, and 3 pieces to each. And some pieces to take off the sprues. Sprue B and sprue E. The little E looks like a little, what would you call that? Like a swing arm where they must be adjustable. Although it won't be adjustable on ours, but it's a nice little detail. We'll have a look at that. Take these pieces off. We'll just grab the sprue, move this away. I may have to start a new container. We've got the hull in one container here. Might have to start a new container for this fella. Although, going by this, we've got one more step, and then the following step, it actually gets put on the hull itself. So, anyway, don't want to get ahead of myself. All right, so let's try these fenders out. We got sprue B. Look at sprue B. The right one this time. Yes. Move this. So that looks like I'm there. Number 10 and 11 is right. Yes. Now there is left and right, so we'll do them separately. Not separately. We'll just keep these parts to their corresponding location. So B10 will be the right side, which is this one. So we'll take that off. B10. And keep our right side up there, keeping in orientation with the way the tank's facing. So we'll stay with the instructions. So that was there. Then we need B30, which goes on the side of that. And that will be 30 is this one here. 30 is that one. It's going to go there. It's going to go there. Then we got B or E, is it? No. What's that? B10? We did that. All right, then we just need the other pieces. So B11 again is this one. Go off there like that. You know, I was fiddling around with my camera settings on my OBS studio that I use to record, and silly me didn't realize, here I was talking about bumping my head all the time because I'm so close to it. I found a zoom, so I've actually got it zoomed in now, and I've got the camera is actually probably about another 8 inches higher, so no more bumping into it. In fact, I can lean right over forward. You won't even see the top of my head. Unlike some people, but we won't mention names, Jason. So we want B31. B31. There it is. That's the little one on there. 31. That's good. And then we just need that little E2. Sprue E. All right, found it. Wow, there we go. How small that is. Not as small as the piece next to it, but it's still small. So there's E2 in there. It's like it's just a sort of a swing arm. All right, so we'll need 2 of those. Just make sure it's the same piece for both sides. E2 and E2, yes. Just put that off. E2, go there. There's another E sprue. Get the other second E2 there. And you might notice I'm wearing a jumper. Now it's getting quite cold, at least at 4 o'clock in the morning, as it is now while I'm doing this. Some people seem to think I'm crazy getting up so early. Saturday morning, I actually set my alarm for 3 a.m. I've been a night shift worker for years, so it's I have no problem with that, but it is quite cool. And we're coming into winter, and I'm just looking at my temperature inside my apartment here. It's now 16.9 degrees Celsius. That's pretty cool. So I'm guessing probably about 7 or 8 degrees outside. Just looking out to my left, and I can see out the door onto the balcony, and it looks a bit overcast. The sun may be coming up in an hour or so. A bit of a breeze out there. There's a park across the street. Trees in. I can see the trees moving. So I'm rugged up, pretty warm. In fact, the nights are getting colder, so I bought up a heater from the storeroom because I think it's going to be time to put the heater on. I've got like a oil heater, and does the job. It's not very big here, so it heats up pretty quick. Maybe in the next week or two, it'll be time to put the electric blanket on the bed too. But anyway, let's get back to kit model building. All right, so those pieces are off. So like I say, this one here with the just on there, in there is where we're going to put that little arm. It's going to go in there, sort of attaches in there like that. I've got to clean it up a bit, but that's where it's going to sit. So nice bit of detail there. I'll go clean up these parts and put them together, because I'm just looking and I don't see them being placed anywhere in the next step. We'll be working on that upper hull again. Step 18. Well, that's strange, because step 18 shows this upper hull going onto the hull, and it's showing this part already fitted here. I see. Here we go. Here. That's why I didn't recognize them. They're upside down. So the view of them is upside down. So there they are getting fitted after these pieces are put on underneath. Gotcha. No problem. All right. Like I said, clean him up. Back in 2 seconds. Okay, back again. So got the old pegs out again, holding this piece in. It's a little bit confusing, the instructions, when you look at them, figuring out how they go in. Well, I found it to be anyway. I'm trying to look at this and I'm trying to fit it down behind there, and I'm trying to turn it around and which way is it going. And but then when I found, if you go to the next step and look and see it actually fitted, I realized I was trying to fit it on the inside instead of on the top here like that. So yeah, having a quick look ahead at the piece after it's fitted, if you're having problems, I find that helps. So it's ready to glue in now. Got the pegs holding it in place. I'm just going to touch it with some extra thin. I've also test fitted the side pieces here, and they will just go straight into there, no problem at all. And I've even tested the mud guard, which will go on top, up on here, and that fits flush with all of that. The piece sits across there. There's 2 locating pins on the top of there, and again, you can't go wrong. So I guess I better fit this. Okay, so first I'm going to glue this piece in. Let's take that there. I've got all these pieces all cleaned up too, so it's all done. So again, we just want to touch this in here where those location spots are on the side, and then just touch it under there. Straight away I can see that's run right across the length of that, so I know that that's all that needs. Leave the pegs there for a second while I put these in, which will go simply in there. Right one, of course, which is there. Now I'm doing it the wrong way around. Why that bit? There's the back. Get in there pretty much just like that. Again, there's also little location tabs underneath, right, where they'll fit in there, and yeah, it looks quite good. Yeah, just got to make sure that that is standing up straight as it goes. Yeah. So I'm going to touch some glue extra thin down on the points under there, and then when they're a little bit secure, I'll come in and I'll touch it down under there as well. Just checking, one tab doesn't seem to be sitting down flush. I'm sure that's in the right ones on the right side. It is. These are slightly angled, so I'm just making sure. I'll just put the other side in just to check. It's going to go like that. And that's going to put in there. Oop. Yeah, there's locating pin it needs to sit in. That's it there, I think. Yep. Okay, it is unusual that if you look at it carefully, you'll see that on both sides, this strut, that this support doesn't sit flush in the bottom there, whereas the others do. But it's the same on the other side as well. I don't know why that is, but everything else looks good when that's in like that. I'm sure there might be a reason why there's that little gap under there. In fact, when I look at them properly, both the center ones don't. Oh, I see. Let me just check here. I think that that's better. Yeah. It's got to sit properly in there, hey. I'm going to do this side now while I've got it, right? That is still sitting up though. I don't know why, but it is still sitting up. Okay, here we go. Put that in. Just a tad there. And we'll put that in there. Put a bit on that one that is touching. And I'm going to put some up in that top corner there. Give it the 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Should be in. Yep. Now I'm going to go and do just inside there. Just get those ones so they're touching as they should. 2, 3, 4. And that is really, that's it. That piece is in. Just looking in there, yep. Hold it there for a moment. Nice. I think these pegs can come off now. Yep, that's secured. All right, I'll just do the other side. Nice. Right way around. These helps. There we go. Make sure that it's down like it should be. Which it is. It looks exactly as it should. Just going to check that again there. And that's it. Yep. Exactly the same as it is on the other side. Perfect. Right, I'll do those bits on the, I'll do it the opposite. I'll do these first. Just take that one. 1, 2, 3. There. It's done. Hold that. It's a really nice fit. Everything's a really nice fit so far. I'm trying to figure out where we are actually working on the tank. It looks like the forward section of it. I don't know if these are like vents. Look like some cool air vents or something underneath here. Okay, so that's good. Now I'm going to do the bottom of these. Make sure they're in place. Just touch there. 1, 2. That one. should be it. Just up in that top corner like I did on the other side. Yeah. So that's the way it's going to be. We're looking at that. So we're doing up under there, see? It probably is vents, or maybe where the air gets drawn in for the air conditioning. But, yeah. And maybe if you're trying to attack someone in this tank, you might want to chuck a grenade in there. All right. So we go back over this way. Look at our fenders for the rear. And I like to position things at the same angle I'm working on from the model, so I can see it's going to be there. And we want to turn these up this way, and the right way around is like they are, I think. Yeah, that's the right one, that's the left one, and this one will go down on here. Move that out of the way. There's location points just on there, and then this end will tuck down into there. Just check that. That's supposed to go in there. That. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Hey? Beautiful. Now that that's in place like it is and where it's meant to be, I'm just going to just put a couple of taps in that of cement and let it run under there as well to glue that down onto there, and that should be fine then. Okay. Now I'm just thinking right now about spraying, painting, and with this on, I'm a little concerned how I'm going to get paint up under there. So that could be a problem. I'm surprised how well that fits, it's really lined up nicely. But yeah, so I won't be able to get paint in there properly. I'm wondering if I should leave this off and paint it after, because all the glue points are underneath where they can't be seen anyway, so it's not like I've got to put any glue on any painted surface. I don't have to. So I think, yeah, let me see what else. I'm just going to have a quick look ahead to see what else needs to be done around this area here, because there are attachment points there. If I can leave that off for a bit. It looks like I can. Yeah. Yep. There's actually a light. That little point there has like a little light, like a headlight sort of thing, goes onto that, which needs to be painted XF50 62. Oh, XF7, get it right. XF7 is probably a green or red. We'll have a look. XF7 is red. So there'll be a little red lamp, a little red light on there. You know what? I'm going to leave that off. I'm going to leave that off and paint it separate. because I can't get in there with the airbrush to paint properly under there. Okay, so the two fenders will stay off. All right. Okay, I will make a note of that on the instructions here in step 17. Step 16 we've done because they've been put together, so we can tick that off. Step 17 is done, but I'm going to put these as attach later. Oh, right after paint. Paint, attach. All right, good. But they fit, and that's fine. Everything lines up real nice, so I know that's not going to be an issue. All right, I'm going to reorganize here because it looks like we've got to, now I've got to think about putting down this whole, attaching the upper hull. All right. And again, there's a few more things that go onto the upper hull. At this point here, they're asking to put the shovel on, put the support thing for the shovel to go on, which probably be the case. The shovel is another thing that I may paint separately, or most likely will, and put on different after painting this. So, yeah. I'll be able to test fit that, see if it goes down and sits on there properly. Yeah, there's our shovel there with the colours we need to do. All right. Okay, no problem. And I'll get myself a separate little container for this. Or will I? Because that's going to go on maybe. Oh no, we've got to paint. I keep forgetting. All right, look. Let's just have a quick look, eh? Move this over here. Bring out our tank here. Let's position this properly. That way. It'll be like that. Don't need those. So now this, less the fenders, is going to go on there. Like that. Is that it? That's it. Okay. So let me just check with these fenders here. If that's going to be on there like that, and that's going to go there. That. Put that back on there. It dropped on there easy. Oh, there we go. Is that it? Trying to get that over there. Oh, there we go. Not that it's a tight fit, it's just a firm fit. That's good. Right. Okay, so from what I can tell here, the fenders will have to be fitted before this top can be put onto there. So what I will have to do is pretty much paint that, put these on, and then drop it on top. Drop our tank on top. That's the way to go. And the only reason I'm leaving these fenders off is because I can't get in there and paint that with them on. Okay. So all good. So we won't be gluing this down as it's showing in the next instructions of 18. I won't be gluing that down. But there are some accessories that need to be painted up. There's this little thing, looks like a crank. I think that was called a crank. That little bit. That's got to go on the fender. On here somewhere. The shovel and the supports for it will go on the side. The supports can go on there. It's just the shovel probably go on there later. And then we're looking at something here. There must be the way it attaches at the rear. Attach as shown. Yeah. Oh, I see. Okay, that's fine. That'll go on what Okay. I'm figuring this out. Right. All right. I know what we've got to do. Okay. So this can sit aside. These will go in a box separately aside. And we're going to work on this because we're going to skip this except here. So there's a couple of pieces go on there. We'll get them off the C sprue. The shovel and that steel crank, I'll take them off the sprue and we'll put them in a separate little container as well. And we'll just mark them as step 18. So I know, because over the page at 19, we got all this to go on. So these are access hatches, which will go on here and here. All those have to be put on. Those pieces, if you remember in the previous video, we've already put them down on the actual hull. So those bits are already on. But there's this part here. I don't know what that is, but that's sitting on the back. A few other things. All of this, as far as I can tell, is going to be painted the same as the tank. So there's no reason why it can't all go on there now. Yeah. Okay. Let me organise myself here. I'll come back in a sec. Okay, so I got the pieces off. And actually I got carried away and I glued these two pieces on without showing you. But trust me, I did. So yeah, these are just got to pay attention to the instructions. I was concerned that why is that sticking out? It's overhanging there. Is it right or is it in the right position? It is. So there's two pieces there, one on top of the other, which is the pieces number C18 and 19. 18 goes up against the upper hull, and then the C19 you glue on top of it, and that just puts, I think that's sort of like a support rail there or something. I'm not sure. I thought that the shovel goes on, so there's our shovel, and I thought that that was going to go on that, but it actually doesn't. This mounts below under here. There's a little sort of a hole there where a location tab goes in, and that's going to sit down underneath like that. Now I've left these connection tabs of the sprue on there because I'm going to paint this separate, of course, and detail it. And I think it might be better to do it while it's on the sprue, and then when I'm done I can just cut at least this sprue that I'll be holding it with. This one here, I'll trim that one off now, but yeah, that one there I can trim off after I've just touch up where the attachment point was, because that'll be on the bottom. All right, so that's fine. That's going to go there. So what I'll do is I'll label it. I'll put it in my container here where the fenders went. Because it's step 18, then we'll mark that as step 18. We also have this crank here, and that will go on here. So it pretty much sits, I'll get this the right way around. I think it goes that way. And it will sit, there's location points on it as well. And I haven't So that's going to sit in there like that. I've left the location, the sprue points on that as well, because once again, this is going to be metal, needs to be painted, weathered, dusted, everything else. So again, it's just a location where I can work on it. So that will go into our box with the other piece, step 18. That's fine. Next time I'm out spraying, undercoating something, I'll undercoat those little pieces as well. Right, so that is it for step 18, I think, already. Yeah, so we've got that piece sitting on there. Just going to have a look. Step 18 is good. Once again, like the other one, I'll mark on here. Oh, I found another container too for this, so we've got a spare container to keep that in. So I will mark on here that this step is done, but of course we've got to again attach after I paint. So for that, it's attach after paint. Attach. Paint. Paint. I should be just writing AAP, shouldn't I? But then, you know, I'll forget what that stands for. I won't know what the hell to do with them. Attach. After paint. That's that one. 42, and this one was C9. All right. Time for another page turn as we have a look at what 19 has for us. Oh, there we go. We have to start painting something soon. In fact, I've done a spoon as a test. I might have mentioned it in a previous video for my chipping using hairspray. I painted it yesterday, so I'm going to try and see how that turned out. Fingers crossed that'll work. In the meantime, there is some other stuff I'm going to be painting today. Probably some of the wheels and the rollers as well. We'll see. The guides. Yeah. Okay, back into it. Number 19. Step 19. Attaching engine access hatches. So we've got some painting to do on that, which, where does that go? C15. C15, there it is there. Okay, it looks like a crowbar. So again, that's going to be something that will be painted after the rest of this upper hull and hull is done, and fenders. So C15 will be after, and that has to be painted XF56, which I'm guessing is going to be a iron color or something. Let's have a look. 56, there you go, metallic grey. So there it is. So yeah, I'll take that off the sprue. It's showing here to make sure you clean up the sprue bits that might be left on it. Same with all the pieces, which we do anyway. There's just sometimes they overhang onto they're not just on the edge, but they go over the edge of a piece. You got to make sure you get them off there as well. I'll show you if I get this off the sprue what I mean. Make two, or we saw that, we've done that there on, and we've got this, which actually has a decal on it, number 10 decal. So I don't know what that is, but it may be something that could be attached later, like the crowbar. Well, especially with the decal on it. So yes, that won't be put on now. All right, I'm going to go and take all these pieces off the sprue that I need. There's F sprue, there's C sprue, and there's E. Yeah. All right, I'll do that. You don't need to see me taking things off sprue. I've done that. We know how that's done. All right, I'll be back in a sec. Hey, welcome back. So, first of all, I had a little bit of a disaster, which wasn't as bad as a disaster as I thought. I thought I'd try and get my liquid mask bottle and try a little test on my spoon that let me just grab the spoon, I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so this is my test spoon, and as you can see now, it has the final base coat. Under that base coat is hairspray. Under the hairspray is some dark grey, and then under that is primer. So the idea will be later on I'm going to try and see if the chipping works. I got a suggestion, because I'm going to be using liquid mask to do the centre of the wheels. It was Nigel from Nigel's modelling bench put a comment to maybe test this first and see if it doesn't pull off the paint because of the hairspray underneath. So I put a little dot there about the size of what I'd be using, and I did that only about 10 minutes ago. I'm just going to let that completely dry, and fingers crossed when I take it off there'll be nothing there but just the tan colour that I want. Pretty confident that'll be all right, but thanks for Nigel for suggesting I test it first, because yeah, test first, avoid mess later. And talking about messes, this liquid mask is it's great stuff. Yeah, so to put that dot there, I'm trying to squeeze a bit out, and I had the lid off and it wasn't coming out. Oh, what's wrong? It's plugged up. So I got my little unplugging device, which is an old airbrush needle, stuck it in there, cleared it. That's better. Turned it over. Nothing coming out. What's going on? I brought my little pad over, just in case it all come out at once, you know. Spray, squeezing, no, unplugged it some more, you know, jam this in here more and more. Squeezed, and then pop, the top came off, and it went sploof everywhere. It went, yep, sploof, that's what it did. Went all across my mat, across me, my glasses, you know, across the carpet. I thought, holy yeah. And anyway, I can happily report to Nigel and anybody using this that it does come off. Came off my glasses, came off my jumper I'm wearing, came off the mat. The carpet, I'm just waiting a while, because once it dries, it should just come straight off the carpet. So we're on track for a successful spoon test, I think, because it does clean up well. It does clean up okay. All right, now this video is getting a bit long. We're well over the hour mark now, and I don't want to test everyone's, you know, patience. And I know it's great you guys watch this, fantastic. But I want to keep them not more than an hour if I can. So that being the case, I'm going to wind it up here, and in episode 4 we'll come back and continue on with step 19 and get all these bits and pieces on here. And once again, down in the description will be the links to my other mates in the group. That'll be HIBBOS Modelling Bench and Oz Scalemodeler, Jace, and you can watch their builds as well. But thank you all. Please, if you haven't already, please subscribe and hit the notifications bell. Give us a thumbs up if you like the video. And comments, mate, heaps of comments. I read all your comments. They're great. Take it all in, and love getting your comments. All right. I might also mention that Aussie Modelers Live which I will put a link down below as well, is our live streaming channel. So there's a good place to go and catch up with 3 Aussie crazy people talking about all sorts of things, not just model related. Apparently it's getting quite popular, but you'll be able to see what we're at, what we're doing, and what we're working on, all that. So that's the link to that will be down in the description. And fantastic. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in part 4, I hope, and we'll continue on with this tank. Bye for now.